Hey everybody, Jim Edwards here, and welcome back to the Sales Copywriting and Content Marketing Hacks podcast. This is episode 112, and we're excited you've chosen to join us. If you've listened to all 112 episodes, you can go to Stu Smith's house and get a free t-shirt. Just walk right up, knock on the front door and say, hey, episode 12, Jim said I got a free t-shirt. Just kidding. Don't do it. He's armed. Anyway, today... Oh, and welcome to my podcast. See, dude, you threw me all out with this. I'm worried about the pause, and I've had my shtick and everything. How do you feel anytime someone throws in a new variable, Stu? Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, we've done this over 100 times now, so you shouldn't really worry about it too much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today, Stu?
Okay. All right. So high value content deserves advertisers. How do you get them? Or sponsors, right? So here are many ways to find advertisers, product placements, or sponsors for your valuable content, whether it's a blog, a video, a webinar, social media post. Maybe it's just something you would like to share with people. The product or device that you use, maybe you can get a free one from them because you share it on your content. So anyway, it's just wondering ways to better monetize what you're putting out there, if there is a way to do that, or if that's even part of your world, if you want to do something in that area.
Well, I hope you got something
to think about.
I hope you've got some things to think about, because I've never done this.
Well,
so I can't talk on this topic at all. So we're going to flip this whole thing. And welcome everybody to the Stu and Jim Show. I'm Jim Edwards, and today we're going to be interviewing podcast and blogging ebook expert Stu Smith, specifically on the topic of how to get sponsors, find advertisers, and even do product placements in your valuable content, including on your blog, on your videos, on your webinars, and in your social media posts. Stu is an accomplished person in all of these areas and is going to be sharing his secrets with us today. So Stu, what's the number one way to get advertisers?
Well, let's just shift that question just a little bit.
Okay.
And make it monetize your content.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So it's not just advertising, it's also monetizing your content. So there's a couple of easy ways to do that, right?
Okay.
Whether that is through affiliate banners, in your content somewhere. You can monetize all your videos up on YouTube. I think you can also do it up on Twitter too. But anyway, you can monetize your videos up on YouTube, get a little check at the end of the month.
How do you do that?
I think you have to go through Google Ads. Get a Google Ads account, and then that links into your YouTube, and then you get approved for, every time someone clicks a link or sees a link, pop-up banner or something on your page, you get paid for that link. Now, I think I have like 33,000 people up on YouTube, and I don't have it's not a huge following, but if you had millions, you can add zeros to the amount of money that you would make. I think I get like $200 a month from YouTube just from people watching my videos, right? But imagine if I had 300,000 or 3 million, right? Those numbers get significantly bigger. I know a few people that got 7-8 million followers up on YouTube, and they make really good money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they have a niche. They have content that people want to see. Many people want to see. So if you're not quite there, you can still monetize it in multiple ways. I am working on a way right now where things that I use. This is what I would recommend. If you have a business that you use multiple products. So for instance, I use the TRX. I use some hemp products. Let me see. I use thorns. Some thorn supplements.
Is that legal in Maryland yet?
Yeah, like CBD oil.
Sure.
It's a good ratio. The TRX and like CBD oil, if you're an affiliate with those, even just a small affiliate with them, they're high priced items. So your 15% affiliate fee gets really good, every one of those versus, someone being affiliate with me and getting 15 or 20% of a $20 book. It's not that impressive, but
right.
You can actually monetize your stuff with just being an affiliate with certain products that you like to use. I'm actually working a deal right now where I'm going to have, now I've done 200 podcasts over the last couple of years, the Tactical Fitness Report, and I have a watch company that wants to sponsor my podcast. So I'm working out a deal with that. For some reason, this one watch company is the only watch that has like the official Navy SEAL watch, right? And it's like the Luminox watch. Maybe you've seen it.
I thought I thought all the Navy SEALs wore G-Shocks.
We do, because they're actually more functional. The other ones are very nice watches, but if I got to look at two hands going this way and a second thing go, I'm not going to keep track of anything. It's very hard to do. But anyway, so I'm finding some other ways to have somebody sponsor or maybe even place an ad in like the middle of the podcast or the beginning of the podcast. So basically I do it this way, especially with things that I am putting up on video. Is a great place to plug a product, right? So Instagram too. Sometimes people will send me a pair of shorts, to swim in. People ask me what shorts are those, and I'll say this is it. I'll plug them, and they'll send me more stuff. So that's a way to do it. It's not really, you're not going to make a mint doing it that way, but it's nice to get free stuff, to plug.
Everybody loves free stuff. Can I throw in something here just as a suggestion?
Yeah, sure.
We talk about wizards and other stuff like that, but there's a wizard we have, and there's a technique for doing this that I've always called the stealth close. And the stealth close wizard is basically there we go. The stealth close wizard, it's basically also called the Columbo close. So when you teach somebody something, or you tell someone something, or you give them a tip, I'll use an example. Like Stu shows how to do a TRX squat. Okay, shows how to do TRX squats, and then immediately transition into a TRX push-up. So, and then Stu says something, the TRX is awesome because it allows you to do body weight training it's like a hybrid between body weight training and strength training and weight training, while mixing in your cardio. By the way, if you would like to get a TRX, I've made arrangements for you to be able to get one here and also get a bonus training from me on 50 different TRX exercises that you can do. Click the link below down to find out more. And it comes from a technique that was used by a TV detective, Columbo, that he was kind of a bumbling, stumbling guy, very offhand. And at the end of every episode, he went, just when the criminal thought that they were going to get away with whatever it was, he would just say something like, "Hey, what happened to the other glass on the bar? And the person says something that immediately implicates them in the case or solves the case or whatever. And it's because it's so offhand, people's sales radar is not up, because everybody's like, oh, he's trying to sell me something, trying to sell me something, trying to sell me something, trying to sell me something. And a lot of people will say something like, and today's episode is sponsored by TRX and CBD oil. Smoke some CBD oil and use your TRX. Not only do we have a great time, but you have a great workout. And people are like, that's just a blatant ad. But if you do it at the end after you've taught them something and you say, hey, by the way, if you don't have a TRX, you really ought to get one, because I've just demonstrated one of 50 different exercises that you can do. And I've got a whole series of videos that I'll give you on how to use a TRX to get amazing results when you buy a TRX through my link. And people are like, oh, well, crap, I can get the cool videos and I need one of these anyway because he makes it look so easy and he's so buff and handsome. And so they buy one. That's the Columbo close. That's the stealth close. And so what I have is the stealth close wizard, which will make these really cool stealth closes for you. So all you got to do is just throw this in. So the example that I have in here is for a free report related to my 7-day ebook. So let's say I taught you how to do a little bit of research on Google on your market, and for the purposes of writing ebook. And then I said at the end, I just say, oh, by the way, if you really want to sell ebooks for huge profit margins, this free report lays it all out for you. Check it out at 7dayebook.com/free-report. And people are like, oh, crap, he gave me some good value and now he's offering me something else. Sure, I'll go check it out. Why not? Because it's not. But if I did the sponsorship as, and today's video is sponsored by 7-Day Ebook, the #1 tool of for the last 20 years for people to be able to figure out how to write their own ebook. If you're in the market to learn how to write an ebook, go ahead. I mean, it's like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
It works because people aren't expecting it, and you deliver it in a way that it's real folksy and kind of like, hey, by the way, did you know? That's another one. Hey, did you know? Or did you realize? Or hey, by the way, just I've made millions of dollars with those words starting out what came next out of my mouth. Hey, by the way. So
I like that. Yeah. You know what? I forgot. I created a article series, and it goes in multiple, venues out there, social media and articles and newsletters, and it's called Weight Vest Wednesday. And I got that sponsored by a company that makes weight vests.
Right.
And I just take pictures of me and their weight vest that they gave me and do that. And we're growing it to a point where they are going to pay me to do Weight Vest Wednesday articles.
Yay. I love Weight Vest Wednesday.
Yeah, and that's something. So anyway, that is another way to
that's cool.
Monetize
that's very cool
content.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. I think that's great. I mean, the only thing, and I'm not trying to be a poo head, but you got to be careful when you are getting paid to endorse something. Somewhere on your on your website, you need to let people know that, hey, if you buy this, I'm going to get a commission. And one way to overcome that is just have that warning on everything that you do. So every website every page has it, the bottom of every email has it, everything. So people are just used to seeing it. So it's not a big thing. But I do think that is super cool, of being able to, of having them pay you to wear their stuff that you would wear anyway.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That's actually a really cool weight vest too.
Yes.
It's not cheap.
No, it's not. It's not.
But
it's made in England.
Yeah.
But they make it in America, actually. They sell it from England, but they make it in America. So anyway, yeah.
Cool. What else you got? What are some other ways we could get advertisers for our content? I mean, what it makes me think of is, I said I don't do any advertising, but I want to point out that I sponsor my own stuff. So like here, right here on the Jim and Stu show, I got an advertiser. I got my own thingy. You know, I'd rather pull my own thingy out than someone else's thingy.
Good point.
Can't go to prison for that. So I do that all the time. I guess I got so much stuff that I just don't worry about. You know what I mean? I don't worry about getting a sponsorship from someone else. I just do my own stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of the reasons why I created a podcast anyway was to let people know that I have stuff to sell. Right? I'm not necessarily look. I wasn't going into this journey looking for sponsorships for a podcast.
Right.
And then when it starts getting popular, people saying, "Hey, can I put an ad on your podcast?"
Right.
So I was very passive about this whole process. You know, I wasn't actively looking for sponsorships. So I would take it as a compliment that someone wants to advertise on your, on your content. But you know, I guess the reason why I came up with the show idea is I grew up, both parents worked in newspaper business. And how do they make their money? They don't make their money by selling newspapers. They actually sell a lot of ads in that content.
Right.
So I guess I came about this idea from that, background of understanding the whole advertising section of the newspaper, what their job was. And it's tough. I mean, it's sales, and if you have time to do that, that's great. But if you don't, there's a passive way to do that as well. You don't have to necessarily be actively going out and hunting for sponsorships, or advertisements.
Sure.
Well, unless you have to have something to sell. If you're going to go and do that, you have to be pretty established and say, I reach, 400,000 people over the week, and this is the demographics. And, you have to be able to say that if you're going to go active with it. But, if you go passive with it and build it up over time, next thing you know, somebody may be interested and knock on your door about it. So,
sure.
Anyway,
but I've always been a big believer in, it's cool to sell, it's cool to sell TRXs and make 15%, but I'd rather sell my own stuff and make 100%. That's just always been, and I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm just saying that's my mindset of why would I, but yours is, you got a different market. Me think, I don't know how much they spend now. I would imagine that the military spends a lot of money on advertising still in various ways. Could you get the Navy to sponsor you? Could you approach really cool. somebody and have them run an ad on your podcast?
That would be really cool. I mean, they are getting really creative with their recruiting arm. In fact, I just did a podcast with a guy who has such a contract, and they are doing kind of the same way athletes post their videos up. So recruiters, for colleges and pros see them. The Navy is actually doing the same thing on that same type of thing. So you can be an athlete and post up some videos and do this Navy workout that they created, and, post up your video of doing it. And, some recruiter is going to come, contact you and talk about being in the Navy. So I thought it was pretty creative. So yeah, anyway,
you might be able to get them to pay you some do-re-mi to have a little 1-minute commercial at the beginning or end or middle of your podcast. They really might do it. You got connections. I would try.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. What the heck?
Get the eagle to poop you a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I like that. That's cool. Anybody who's here with us live, have you ever gotten a sponsorship, or have you ever sponsored somebody else's content or event or video or any of that type of thing? Even if it was through Google AdWords, which we can all sponsor other people's content through Google AdWords. You can do it on their sites. You can do it through YouTube sponsored videos, whether it's pre-roll video ads or it's just promoted videos. So this is, you can flip it around and you can be the one doing the sponsoring. If you see somebody who's got your market, and that's the one thing everybody says, hey, I want to go and be on a bunch of podcasts. What if you contacted a podcast and bought an ad? What if you contacted them and sponsored their podcast or did something along those lines, especially some of the smaller ones where they're not going to want $20,000, $30,000. I mean, somebody might actually, in exchange for you giving them a product, would do an ad for you. And those things add up. I mean, that was kind of the whole thing behind article marketing back in the day, way back in the day. Was my thought process was that if I could get 100 sites to post my article and I could get 1 click per day per article, that was 100 clicks a day. That was 3,000, or no, it was 30. What's 365 times 1,000? It's
30,
36,000 clicks a year. And so, and I worked it backwards. Well, what if I only got a click a week from each one? That's 100 a week. That's 5,200 clicks a year. And if I did a couple of, and what if it was just, one a month? That's 1,200 clicks a year. And if I had 100 articles out there, 1,200 times 100 is 120,000. And that's a lot of clicks, but you got to get out there and get your stuff in the mix. So that was my thought, was that I didn't need the big sites to pay attention to me. I just needed a whole bunch of little sites to pay attention to me a little bit, and the numbers would work for me over time.
Yeah, my final advice is, once again, I was on the passive route to getting this done, and it has not created any extra work for me, right, to go towards this route. So
right.
It's a way to make a little extra money on your content that you put out there. That
Sure.
99% of it, you're selling your own stuff, but at the same time, an ad that pops up, whether it's affiliate ad or a pop-up banner up on YouTube, or an actual ad product placement, it can add to your revenue streams. It
adds up. I mean, and that's the thing. If you got 5 or 10 different things paying you a couple, 300 extra bucks a month, I mean, all of a sudden that adds up to a house payment. I mean, that's house payment, car payment.
Yeah.
And that don't suck. Or that's your that funds your retirement. Imagine if you could put, I mean, again, this is not an income claim. Your results may vary. But imagine if everybody's worried about retirement. I know that I am, and you should be if you're not. What if you put this in place and you said, okay, this is going to be my retirement plan. Whatever I make from this advertising, it's going to go in an investment account. And if you could put an extra 150, 200, 300 bucks away a month, every month for the next 20 years, that's a whole lot of money going into your retirement account that you wouldn't have had, that you're basically getting for free.
Yep.
So that's another way to look at it. So don't poo-poo it if it's not huge to begin with, because if you keep focusing on creating and adding value to people's lives, it could get huge pretty quickly. So cool. Well, I thought this really made me think, and I need to think more in terms of sponsorship and advertising, even if it's just of my own stuff.
Yeah, or just clever ways to do it of your own products.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I need to eat my own cooking more instead of cooking just for other people. Cool. Well, I think that's it for today. Any final questions, Stu, as far as anything to pop on me here at the end? If you asked me if there was a wizard for that, I already answered that question.
No, that is just a special event for the Jim and Stu show that we do live prior to the recording of this podcast, which you can find it at thejimandstewshow.com at
No,
9
not
o'clock.
not the Jim and Stu show. Jim and Stu show.
Oh,
Just
sorry.
there's no the.
Yeah. Okay. At
Sorry.
jimandstewshow.com, 9 o'clock East Coast time on Wednesdays.
That's right. Very good. All right. And so, by the way, if you'd like to get really good at writing sales copy, you need to head over to copywritingsecrets.com and I will give you a copy of my international bestseller, Copywriting Secrets. All I ask is for you to pay a small shipping and handling. So, Stu, if people want to get in amazing shape and do really cool workouts that you design, where can they go?
You can find me at stewsmithfitness.com.
Awesome. All right, everybody. Well, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.